This minute. Hello, we're live. That was me fiddling at the last minute again, folks. I always do that with the screen. How are you this evening? I hope that you are really well and feeling okay with all that's gone on over the last week. So I've decided tonight to bring a ray of sunshine into your lives, who has been a ray of sunshine in my life for the last 12 months. And over the 4 weeks in the lead up to my next 5-day challenge, I thought it was really important to talk to the ladies that were graduating at the end of September and get a real behind the scenes feel of what goes on in the Creative Mastermind, that thing that I bang on about all the time and tell you that I can help you. It's really good if you can hear that from somebody else. So for anybody that's watching on other platforms that does not know me well, I'm going to introduce myself as I always do. I am Mandy Nicholson, and I am the Creative Genius Consultant. I'm an artist, I'm an author, and a creative retreat owner. And I help amazing creative women just like Becca here to launch, grow, and scale their businesses and make more money. And that's what I do. What this lady does, she's another the life joy coach and author, and she does some amazing things. The reason we've gone yellow tonight is because Becca is all about joy and sunshine and yellow, but I'm not going to say any more. Becca, introduce yourself, please. Tell everybody who you are, what you do.
Well, good evening and thank you for having me. It is a joy to be with you. That's the first thing to say. And welcome to the Sunshine Study. I love sunshine yellow and sunflowers because they are tall, they are golden, and they seek the light, but occasionally they need some support, and that's really where I come in. So I'm Rebecca, and I'm the Life Joy Coach and author, and I help people transform their burnout into balance. And whatever areas are burnt out in their life, I act as a coach and counsellor for that. And I have Happy Books, the Life Joy books, and Inspiring Ivy, and 2 more in the pipeline to help them along.
Thank you so much. And hi to Michelle. We've got Michelle watching tonight. Hi, Michelle. We won't be able to see the comments on all the platforms, but I will come back, and so will Becca, and answer any questions or queries. And please ask them in the comments. Tell us where you're watching from. Tell us whether you're watching live or on replay. Ask questions, because that's how you get great answers. So let's kick off. Becca, you're nearly graduating from the Creative Mastermind. I feel like the proud parent because you've done amazing. So, thinking back to where you started last September, what's the journey been like for you?
I have loved it. That's, I think, a profound sense. And it is an enormous commitment and an enormous effort. But sometimes with boldness and immense diligence and honorability on all sides, you can create something lovely. So something I said to you earlier today, which is interesting, it has flown by. And I'm thinking, I'm about 2 months in now. And the sense of not wanting it to end. And that is really, I think, a great credit. I have always been diligent and I've always loved homework. But I've also had a ton of illness since my late teens. So this has been the first thing I've done since I was 16, essentially full time, if that makes sense, alongside the time that you set out.
Yeah.
But also there are people on our course who've had to have some time out or some pauses, and that's been accommodated with great kindness too. So I did your 5-day challenge. And it was tremendous. That was the best challenge ever. That's the first thing. Do the challenge, if nothing else. You will. It's a generous challenge. It's a lot within it, but also you will learn an enormous amount. I think that's the premise. So last year I did your challenge mainly going on little strolls, listening to you at 8 o'clock at night on the phone. And I told my husband, he said, we have to be quiet because we have to listen to the lady who knows the things. And we referred to you as the lady who knows the things. So I came on the challenge. I was invited by Rach. And I've said this before, I didn't understand what it was. I had been self-employed for a long time, but COVID had hit and I'd had to have a complete evolution because of that. So I understood some premises of business, but I didn't understand really an internet business. That's what it comes down to. And the layers of nuances needed. So I did need a new teacher. I was ready for the next stage of learning. So I did the challenge diligently and loved it and learned a lot. And I am not impetuous. I am on small things in life, but most big decisions I take a long time to make. I base them on evidence, facts, logic, and also character. So when I knew there was something coming at the end of that challenge, I sensed it. And I got keener as the challenge went on. And I'm not sure I thought about much more than the challenge when I started.
Yeah.
And there was so much in that challenge that could have kept you going for 6 months. There's the other. But I did every drop of it, and it seemed to make perfect sense at the time. So where I was 12 months ago was I was diligent, I was prepared to work, but I also was very unaware of the levels of nuances needed in email lists, websites, social media, and then the level of your ability to build funnels, to build essentially lead magnets, and to understand your sales copy. So I can say all of those things now. And I knew essentially what a funnel was, but if you'd said much more to me, I thought, well, I've got a website. I'm doing social media. But quite frankly, I think you took me from a good C+, who was working hard at a C+, to getting to a better grade with that much effort. So I think the level of learning has been intense. It's been very necessary, but it's also been lovely fun.
What do you think you've enjoyed the most then about what goes on behind the scenes? What happens?
Yes. Well, I think there's two parts to this. First of all, I understood, there was a big online course that you worked your way through. Yeah. I was happy with that. I thought, give me homework, I'll write that with joy. No essays. So there was not a lot there to fall back onto. But then the thing I was pleased about was the level of contact time there was. Now, this is a very significant investment, but quite frankly, you get a lot of hours with the teacher. It's what it comes down to. And the wider team. And then, so I would say the tone and the clarity and the warmth with which you lead is admirable. That's the first thing.
Thank you.
I have not seen you lose your rag. I have seen you under considerable pressure, and you have been steadfast in that. And that's important to me. I'd far rather you be better tempered than, flighty or unreliable or snappy tempered or any of those things that people can be. So temperament is everything to me, and reliability is. So I thought this is good to have this much contact time, but it's a lot of months. If this doesn't go well, it's a leap. But I watched you for a year before that, so I knew what was going on really. So I have loved that. I have loved our classmates so much. They're watching now because they have enriched my soul so greatly. And to be in a class, I always wanted to have good classmates wherever I was.
Yeah.
And to stay with them through something. And we not only learn together, we learn from each other. And we have a lovely warmth and support. And I feel that they are my women.
Yeah.
In a way that's very rare and lovely. And they are pleased when you succeed, and they are with you when you have a bump. So there is grace flowing through it. So the people have been the great blessing, and I would call them the extra team. And I have loved Lou, I have loved Gwen and Anna, who are just treasures beyond measure. And they help with the tech calls and the mindset. So you're not just given a big course that you work through, you are given the people. And to me, that's everything. And the point is the seeing how, I'm essentially a writer and a coach, but I have seen my teammates and classmates who have immense talent and immense generosity and immense care for their work and their clients. And I have seen them flourish and have to do things with their art and creativity, which I would never have even thought possible. So it's been a broader education on how you can make a business. And dare I say it, from your passion.
Yes.
Also how you can, sometimes you cannot make a business from just selling your paintings. You need to teach courses, or you need to do online things, or there's a breadth of things you can do, or you can sell cushions or have journals, or do canvases or have a membership, or all the possible options with essentially your pot of creative treasure. So it's given me a layer of confidence there, that when I see somebody who's a talented artist, I think, I know what you could do with that. And you talk a lot about the starving artist.
Yeah.
You're also a realist in this, and that you have to learn how to do business. You learn how to communicate with your customers and identify them. And essentially the most important part is that you learn not to give in, you learn to keep going, but also to assess what's working. And if I'm a bit nervous about this, can I get some support on the tech? And how do we keep going wisely and constructively? So there's a lot there that I have loved.
Thank you. And it's lovely to hear that for me, because the main reason I do this is because I love seeing women grow and thrive and flourish. And you have some really exciting stuff coming up now, aren't you? Because during the course, we've had Inspiring Ivy, which you launched last year. Yeah, which is an amazing book, totally amazing book. There it is, it's Inspiring Ivy. What a cracking! I read that through Christmas and New Year, and what an amazing book. There was 2 books before that, or 3, 2 Life Joy books. Yeah, and you are about. There we go. Look, ready with them. So Rebecca already had books written, and what was missing, though, I think, was maybe the confidence to launch them properly and to really sell them. And you are just coming up for a launch now with some really exciting things. Talk about that. Tell people what's coming.
Thank you. Yes. Well, when I said to you the business of learning the nuances, it's the layers of knowing what to do to sell, and to sell with honorability. And hopefully what you sell will help people. That's the point. And that I strive always to have a loving purpose, because I've had such a ton of illness and adversity that must be used to good sense. And other people who are at those hinterlands of trouble, I can help them. I can wrap my metaphoric arms around them and say, you're quite capable. This is difficult, but we'll help you through it together.
Yeah.
So all of my work is about trying to use that knowledge. So my next 2 things coming up, and here's the thing about the course, which is lovely, is you don't say do an enormous, huge thing all at once. There's a very measured approach. I call it a little try, and that you can just try a bit and see where it goes, learn from and step back and do it better next time. And that in many respects, it's given a little confidence for a little try. And sometimes a little try will just fly.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't. But the 2 things that are coming is I have another book launch. I have a triple launch on Advent Sunday. And I launch my books on Advent Sunday. Because my grandmother, Ivy, who ran the mission hospital in China in the 1930s, bravest woman on the planet, as well as being the quietest, she loved Advent so much, and she was gleeful about it. And she had been a hungry, starving child of an alcoholic father. So she'd had a hard life. She'd had Christmases where she didn't have a present. Her parents got married on Christmas Day, and all sorts of things happened to her on Advent and Christmas. So as a respect to Ivy, Advent Sunday, which is this year, the 27th of November, I will be launching my next book.
That's really exciting. And there's more than just the one book, isn't there?
There is. It's a double launch, because I know times are hard for people, and I know that people are pressed for money, and essentially we're all pressed with cost of living wherever we are on that ladder. So I decided we would have 2 books for the price of one this time. And would you like a sneak preview?
Sneaky freak them, just waft them across the screen. Wow, look at how beautiful.
Yes. So that's come, and this is the lovely thing, is that I listen very carefully to my clients and readers. And somebody said to me, Becca, can you do where there's space for us to write in? Because you offer, I hope, wisdom and joy and courage in your books, but I often ask people to do some homework and some investigation in the books. So not only have they got space to write in this one, which is, I hope, the most colourful book I've ever done, is that they have a lovely notebook to go with them that they can journal in as well. So that's the first set of launches. And then on Epiphany, which is the 6th of January, I'm running Super Life Joy, which is a membership. So for the first month, it's only £10, and you get a training with me on self-worth, forgiveness, coping strategies, resilience, the things we all need, boundaries. The second week, you get a question and answer session with me on that training or things you need help with. The third session, we're going to have a guest expert, and I cannot wait because I'm going to get all my wonderful, clever people to help us there. And then the final Sunday, we're going to have Life, Joy, Faith, which is just a half an hour service for somebody who has a spirituality, but they don't really fit anywhere. And they haven't got a church or a place to go, and they don't know what they think. It's just going to be open to everybody. We're going to have half an hour of hope and love in that service.
Honestly, it gives me goosebumps when you talk about it. It's such an amazing place you've got to with the books and the membership coming up. It's a really exciting time for you, but not only for you, but for the people that are involved in that, for the people that are going to become part of that community and that world, because it's going to be life transformative for them. They're going to belong to something that they fit into, where they may be struggling with burnout or with life in general at the minute, and you are there for them. You're like this golden light, the sunflower, the golden light. So I can't say enough about Becca. Honestly, she's going to go out there and make big changes, and it's definitely, if you're not in a world, please get in it. Click the link that I've put in the descriptor above and go and have a look and sign up for the launch. Get on the email list. And actually find out what it's all about, because for me, watching these women grow over 12 months is completely joy. It's watching the changes, because you didn't have huge goals when you joined me, did you? You didn't want to be a millionaire. You didn't, that wasn't part of what you wanted. Tell people what did you want when you joined, and have you got there? That's a good question.
That's a lovely question. You ask good questions. I just want to share this beforehand. I have much better boundaries now. Yeah. And the interesting thing is I have a level of, dare I get this past my husband, who is the most gracious soul on the planet. And usually I can, because he'll let me, he's not going to say no. And then I have like dad, because dad's much tougher piece of work, but he's absolutely generous and wise, but he is more worldly. And then I have the Mandy at the top, because I think, dare I say this to Mandy? Because if I don't dare tell Mandy, I shouldn't do it. There you are. That's what I got. But anyway, the sense of the issue of, sorry, what was the question? I got carried away with you.
What were your expectations when you joined, and where are you now? Yeah.
Well, I think in some ways you give us permission to have expectations. That's a lovely thing. Mm-hmm. And in life, expectations and assumptions often cause us trouble, don't they? Because we assume things. But I think a hope with action behind it is the best kind. Mm-hmm. So my first goal was I was beginning to work very hard on my own. And I had a couple of one-to-one coaching clients. I knew I needed more, and I knew I needed other things. Mm-hmm. And I had understood that this level of diligence was needed. I was very happy to work hard. I was very happy with my content and my care for people. I felt I loved them well, and that I had lovely results. I just needed to know how to get to more people. Mm-hmm. So I've always had very small goals. I had severe ME for more than 20 years. So I had between 12 and 40 weeks a year, housebound, bed or hospital, from 17 to my late 30s. So I had a very busy life. I managed to do a part-time degree, which took me ages, then a part-time master's, part-time doctorate. So I understood persistence, which I teach a lot of my clients now who are healthier than me, but I understand chronic illness, mm-hmm. degenerative illness. I'm patron of a mental health charity, and I've taken nearly 1,000 loving funeral services as Christian celebrant. So I've got a big wealth of knowledge there. And I hoped I could offer that a bit, my little bit of offering.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to do, my first goal was, when I started 10 years ago, was to earn £20 a week.
Yeah.
It's laughable to anybody else.
No,
I've been bedridden and told umpteen times by immunologists, you're not going to get better. I hate that phrase, unemployable.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, when I had a doctorate, I wasn't so unemployable. There you go. But here's the bit, I was still very unwell physically.
Yeah.
So what can you do with that which you have as an important message? So my real goal when I came to you is I wanted to cover that gap when the fuel bill went up. And I think ours went up £70 a month, that first hike. And I did that. And then I thought, I'm going to have to cover the next one now. So I think we've had another one today. And I thought, right, the next one is that one. So it was about manageable goals. And I'm always uncomfortable when people talk about over-promising of income.
Yeah.
And I think you need to realize you need to do a ton of work. You need excellent content. You need excellent guidance. You also need a bit of luck sometimes, but you also need realistic goals. So what I want to do is my husband to be able to retire at some point in his life. He's older than me. I need to look after him. And the things that matter most to me are health and unity. And when you have those in whatever package you're giving them in this life, or you generate them, then to me, this is homework. This is rowing. This is do what the teacher says, turn up. I have always a list of questions for our sessions ready. And if there's spare time, my hand goes up because, I'm sorry, I was headmaster's daughter. It never leaves you. So I hope I have wrung out every drop of help. So my goals were cover those gas and electricity bills. And obviously they've kept going. And then I wanted to pay for the diesel. Then now I've got to pay for the dog, because we all either get dogs or camper van because we want to live our life goals because Mandy said so. So I haven't got a camper van, but the dog costs a fortune. So pay for the dog.
I love it. I know, yes, you did come with no dog and ended up with a dog because we're all dog owners. I know. I feel responsible for Christy.
You do. Well, she's a joy to everybody. But
yeah,
the other thing in all of this was it is honourable and wise to pay somebody well. And I've always tried to be, generous in all the things I've done. I've been generous in my deliveries. I've been generous, when you get a book, you get extra things as well. And my times, dare I say it, I should not tell you this, dear teacher, but my one-to-ones always run over. They pay for half an hour and they get 50 minutes. It's desperate. But that grace has been, I count my blessings, but I have had many blessings. And I want to look after my people as well as I can, because I want to stop them getting worse. I want them to help manage their conditions, manage their lives. And ultimately, when you and I talk about this a lot, about thinking wisely.
Yeah.
When you think wisely and calmly, you make better decisions. And a life that is well lived is made of many good decisions. And some of those aren't easy decisions. Some of those are brave decisions. But it's all grounded in diligence for me.
Yeah, totally. So you started with 2 clients and wanting £70 to pay the gas bill. Where are you? How many clients do you have now?
I have 12.
12 clients, which are one-to-one clients, and they're coming from different places, aren't they? And now you're starting to get referrals and recommendations. You've got quite a few things in the pipeline. And at the start, I don't know whether you saw yourself being capable of managing all those different things. And yet you've done it with ease and grace over the last 12 months. And it's almost like you've absorbed it because you've been helping more people in lots of different ways. You've made it look easy.
Oh, I'm so pleased you think that.
And I know it hasn't been easy because I know how much hard work you've done on the other side of that. So if you were giving people advice now that are watching this and wondering what it is that I do and what you get, and honestly, I have not paid Becca to say any of this, nor Kirsty, nor any of the other ladies, what advice would you give them if they're thinking about investing in themselves now?
Well, I mean, this is the big question, isn't it? And
Yeah.
it's the elephant in the room, and it must be addressed. And it must be addressed with some caution. And like all things in life, I feel a wise balance.
Yeah.
So I think there are about 4 streams to answer this. But first of all, if you are willing to do the work and to not bend when there's a bit of tech you don't want to do, or a bit of something that's uncomfortable, or you're not very good at sales conversations, or you think, oh my goodness, there's monster amounts of work to do here. Well, I would think about being cautious. You need to know who you are. You need to value what you have to offer enough. But also, I think if you do the homework, and I hope and pray I've hardly missed a session.
No, you haven't. Yep.
And I have done every accountability form. So that's 2 sessions a week, 2 hours a week with you. Then there are additional sessions of guest experts who come in, and I've loved them. The last few have just been amazing. And then I've gone to almost every one of the mindsets with Lou.
Yeah.
And I have been to as many tech calls as possible with Gwen and Anna and the team before that. So I went with a list of questions. That's the important thing. You know, how do I get my website to do this? I need to do this on Facebook. How do I need to do a launch? So I had the prep. So it is a lot of money, and there's no doubt about that. So don't do it if it's going to get you in serious trouble, you know. And you are full of wisdom about that, and you're not, you know, in any way fleecing people. So that's the first thing. But if there's just a chance you will do all the homework, you have something wonderful, but you know you need the bridge of knowledge to get you there, and that you've got a little bit of traction, and you're very excited about this, and that you have one go at life. Life is short and precious. So if you just do that challenge and if you watched all your YouTube and homework, you would learn a lot anyway. And then think about how you can do it, because it's not a waste of money if you do the work in any way. The business of investment is, I saw Lucy when, you know, you interviewed her with all that immense talent, and all of our people have talent that I have. I mean, I saw them all with their paintings, and I thought, oh, I just do a few words, you know, all these very talented women. I thought, I better paint the study quick. That's what I can do. Plastic sunflowers. Make the decision with considered logic. Yeah. And also, I would say, I had never bought anything on a payment before, ever. And I'd not bought things because, you know, I hadn't been didn't earn any money till I was 36, that first £20. And so the fact you had a payment plan, I considered it very carefully about, could we do that? And what would we need to do to manage that? But then also, quite frankly, the whole point of doing you is to earn money. Yeah. And earn more that is fair. And then, quite frankly, you should pay for yourself, if that makes sense. It should pay for itself. And the fact that I couldn't have done the full WOP, but the fact that you could do it over the longer period of time, which was very helpful. And by the grace of God, I had some access to work funding. And you shifted yourself in one afternoon quicker than the entire planet put together to help me get that through. So it was the very fact you shifted yourself, and you did about 72 emails to make it work. And I hope my diligence has been respectful of that. So if you're worried about it, talk to you, do the challenge. And we are not sitting here saying, I've made 10 grand in 2 days. You know, what we're saying is we are working, and the traction is coming, God willing. And that with that, you have to realize that it takes time. It will, if you need to pay your mortgage immediately, and then, you know, you're going to get kicked out, you have to be wise. But conversely, if you can stop spending money on things that you don't need, and I mean, we're all going to have to do more of that, but if you can make a way and you do the homework, I think this is a sensible investment in your business as well as yourself, because it's not just that people have suddenly been able to sell courses and paintings because they didn't before. They've had enough inner confidence and worth to do so, and they've known how to do it and not get scammed and behave well in the process of their own sales. Yeah.
Thank you. That's honestly a really wonderful answer. And I agree with everything there. There's never been a conversation that I've had with a potential client where I've coerced them into parting with their money if they were not ready. In fact, I make sure that people know that I will not accept them if they're going to go into debt.
Exactly. And in the Northeast, you'll know this. We have a phrase, my mum used to have a phrase called the tick. It's on the tick.
On the tick.
And when I got you, I went in, I said, I think I've got tick and I'm 47 years old.
There's nothing wrong with a bit of tick as long as it's a good decision, yeah.
And when my mum said that the debt essentially was a very big debt, or somebody had, you know, bought something they couldn't afford or shouldn't have, essentially, my mum would say, it's on the ticky tick tick. You know, she made it even more. So you are my tick, darling. But
okay. That's my claim to fame then, other than you now owning a blonde curly dog.
The dog, I is trashed so much I could have paid for your course.
You probably guess, if you're watching this, that we just have great fun as we're learning and as we're growing, and we have good relationships and good conversations. There's a lot of honesty goes on behind the scenes. And I hope you can pick that up and feel that from the conversations that I'm having with these ladies in the run up to the 5-day challenge. And I will be interviewing some of these ladies again during the 5-day challenge to talk about their journey, what they're doing now, how they're making money, because a lot of that changes as well during the program. We see people going from doing one thing to doing something completely different, but that makes them really happy. So this is your inside view. And we had Kirsty last week. We've got Rebecca this week. She'll be in my group on Friday this week. We'll be talking again on Friday. So I suppose I want to part with, thank you so much for talking tonight, Rebecca, but thank you for making that brave decision a year ago and saying, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do the work and I'm going to make a difference. And please, you know what, if you want your joyful ray of sunshine, thank you, Michelle. Michelle's just said a joyful ray of sun. Absolutely, 100%. And if you want to change your life and the lives of others in a really positive way by following what you're really passionate about and what you love, then I'm here and I would love to have you. And this is the story of what goes on behind the scenes. Please go and check Rebecca out, because what she's got coming is stupendous. I am very proud of all of my clients. It's really sad when they graduate. It's like your kids leaving home. It's really sad. I'm going to have to adjust.
Can I just jog on forever? Because I can do the questions. Don't worry about that. I'll keep them coming.
Who's going to turn up with a notebook full of questions now?
Hang on.
There we go. Yeah. Always ready. So thank you, Becca. Thanks for being here tonight. I know it's hard sometimes in the evenings when you get a little bit tired. I'm the same. 7 o'clock comes and you're like, oh no, I've got something to do. I know. So thank you for saving the energy for tonight to talk to people. Any parting comments before you go?
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for giving. This sounds ridiculous. I would have paid the money to have the people in the friendship. Now, I mean, and that's an outcome, because essentially I've learned the things I needed to learn, and you always have to learn because it always changes and you're always growing. But I hope, given my all, I've loved those hours, and I've been blessed by them. So talk to me as well. Talk to me if you're considering coming or not to the course, and I will give you my most honest support possible. But also, you may want to come later. You may want to do the challenge now, or you may be all ready for it. But I would say there is a sweet tone to it, but a dynamic one too. So I try and live by seek the light, be the light, and count your blessings, be the blessing. But now I have more confidence that I know how to share that.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much, folks. Thank you for watching. All of you that endured to the end, well done. I will be back same time, same place next week. And I think it's Diane next week. We've got the lovely Diane, our traveling textile artist with a camper van.
Nothing better.
So thanks for watching. Have a wonderful week all. And I will see you next week. Bye. Thank you, Becca.